Welcome. This is politics today. Hapa tunachapa siasa kama kawa kama dawa. My name is JONAH, SIMBA, the powerful man in Kenya. SG.
Be careful.
How are you?
Be careful how you address yourself. We are fearful of powerful people.
No. We talk about authentic power. You know, there is authentic power. There is real power.
And there is a demonstrated power.
Yeah,
so somebody has demonstrated some power. So
just in case you didn't know, he is Nicholas Oyo, Secretary General himself, Free Kenya Movement. But then you are thousands of people across every county.
We are many. A lot of us, we are just being delayed by a few ups and downs here because we have a case going on a question of signature collection. Somebody tried to deny us, so we are pursuing that through the courts of law. So if anybody talks about judiciary, we are partakers of judicial services.
By the way, the man on the sign language interpretation is Tobias Omondi. Feel free to chapa siasa with us. 0111980384. Tell us if you're powerful. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, the people.
Everybody is powerful. Yeah, everybody. People are powerful. We are sovereign, Jonah. According to the Constitution.
Let me tell you something.
Article 1.
There is something wrong with the middle class. Middle class in Kenya have never ever been such restless. Why is the middle class unsettled?
You know,
only the low class, or rather you could say the hustlers. I don't know whether to call them peasants. But tunaweza kusema mama mboga, na watu wa boda boda, na wakulima, you know, those people that
group that was
they are the ones who've been voting before and getting involved in politics. But saizi, lack of voting and lack of political participation by the middle class kinawaramba. You've heard of such a term in Kenya?
Yes, Jonah, it is amazing that the biggest number of people who did not vote, who were registered, happened in 2022. I don't know if you're aware of this. Because the number that we had for voters was 22 million, and only 8 million, about 16 million voted. It's 15 somewhere there.
For your information, so most of those who did not vote could easily be middle class.
It's possible. I agree with you. There's a number of people who basically just become apathetic and say that this thing doesn't matter. Now the taxes have come home to roost. People are facing problems. If you did not participate, this is where you now face a problem, because you realize that that participation may have helped. The questions now that you're dealing with.
You know, there's always been, they say that ule anasapotiwa with the government will make it. So the fact that Raila was being supported somehow by one and only Uhuru Kenyatta,
who at that time was
the president.
Government, yes.
Many people stayed back and relaxed and said this thing is already decided.
There is that, Jonah, but there's also the fact that the other group actually pushed the narrative that they are being targeted. You know, this is the funny thing. If you want to get a lot of sympathy, you claim you are being targeted. So that is what was pushed by the other group, and they succeeded. And so what happens is that they managed to, should I call it,
whip emotions?
Whip emotions and basically weaponize the hustlers to a point that they were saying that we don't want a situation where the former president or a president who has already served is still in political engagement, in political situations.
And they had started attacking vehicles.
Exactly. You remember the questions of dynasty versus the hustlers. And so, Jonah, the question is that I agree with you that there is the people who basically vote, the number who basically goes to ballot is actually those you are calling the hustlers, those people who basically are on the lower cadre of society, in quotes. And these are the people who basically are easy to, should I call, quote unquote, manipulate. And that is what probably has happened, that all elections are usually almost designed to manipulate these people.
But is it true that if you mess with the middle class, wewe kwisha?
I don't know if Kenyan middle class can actually say that so far. We are hoping that they can show us that. But so far we've seen a middle class that basically is indifferent. I think what you're saying now is that they are beginning to feel the pain, and now they are beginning to come out. The problem that you have had, Jonah, is people don't understand the power they have. I'll give you an example of an image that I've seen before, and I want to draw it to your mind so that you can see where I'm coming from. You find a place where there is say a ramp of some sort. The first side of the ramp is on a cliff, and the other side of the cliff there's a leader who is basically addressing people and really pouring vitriol. And then on this side, the people are stepping on the same platform. Something that is basically, if they were to just leave it, the leader will fall down the cliff. So the question that we are facing is that people don't understand that power they have. The power that they can actually change. The power that they can basically, even now when we are facing situations, judiciary versus executive, the people can come in and basically deal with this question.
You know, the question has always been that they are comfortable. It has never come this close to the middle class. You know, for the hustlers, it's possible they have been going through abject poverty.
Possible. They've actually faced this situation.
You know, the hustlers have been going through abject poverty, very difficult life. But the middle class, they have been saying, as long as you can, you know, fuel your car, you can live a decent life, you can pay your rent, you can continue going to work, there is job work for you, you're okay. But now, when you get heavy taxation and things are affecting that job, now you're like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, you know, the thing that and I want middle class, I hope they're listening to this show.
Yeah.
The thing that they don't understand is the fact that you already pay government for security, and then you hire a security person. You already pay government for your, should I call the garbage, and you again pay another person for garbage. You already do things for basically the road should be done, and you still have to do it.
The government would provide free education, quote unquote, and the middle class would take their child to a very expensive school because they can afford. But now it's no longer that way.
Yeah, the issue that, and it's not that way because that public education has improved. No, it is that way because people are trying to save every single dime coin that they can get. Every single shilling that they can put on the other side, they are trying to save. And they are facing a situation that now it has become a problem where taxes have continued coming from all corners and all sources, and taxes are rising in every other place.
Right.
The issue now is this, and we hope that the middle class are listening, because the question when you talk about what middle class can do is that middle class can actually put resources, Jonah. These are people who can say that for my 100 shillings, I'm going to give Free Kenya 50 shillings to go and fight this battle so that this country will be saved. Middle classes in other countries have done that. Take the question of Greece or Egypt or even Tunisia. When the people are on the streets, when people stay on the streets for that long, it is middle class and it is the rich people who actually support those people to stay on the streets, because they are making sure that their coffee is there, the blankets they are there. There's even in other places they used to have a timetable for people to be in the streets.
Wait a minute, you seem to be talking about a revolution here. Kwani tumefika hapo?
It doesn't have to be a revolution. Jonah, we address this thing in a different way, because people think revolution is always has to be bloody, has to be messy. But this is the thing. We have something called the internet revolution. We have something called the industrial revolution. We had the Iron Age revolution. We had all these kinds of revolutions. So the question that we must ask ourselves, what kind of revolution do we need? Do we need a revolution that is bloodless, that is going to take us to the next level, that is not going to be a destroyer of properties? It is the middle class that can support that kind of revolution. If they don't, then the revolution that is going to come from the hustlers themselves, who are not going to care which property is destroyed.
Wait a minute. Before someone accuses me on 0111980384 of kuchoma. You know kuchoma?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so before someone accuses me of that.
Yes.
Don't you think all we need is an economic revolution?
An economic revolution, yes, but Jonah, we need also to have a revolution of the mind of Kenyans, because the question that I'm talking about here is that the first article of the Constitution says all sovereign authority belongs to the people of Kenya. let that sink in. All sovereign authority belongs to the people of Kenya. It can be exercised either directly or indirectly through the elected representatives. The directly comes first. So the question here has to be that people need to understand their power and to understand that they can help. And this question of economic revolution works well when you have people who are aware and know their rights and know that when a person says that mambo ni matatu, they can actually take you to the gutters.
Now, you see, if you have already been told you own that power and you work through representation, you can do it directly or indirectly.
Yes, and remember directly came first, eh?
Okay.
In that construct of the constitution.
Okay, let's go the indirect way, because how
That is
direct
what
can direct be? It would be chaos.
No, it is not chaos.
I will
give you an example.
To exercise it.
No, I'll give you an example of what directly is and what I think the constitution refers to.
Before you do it, and please don't forget that point.
Yeah, I get it.
Try
I get it. First, I want
to test your power to remember.
Exactly. First, I want to talk about.
I'll remind you if you forget to remember. But just before you get there,
yes,
the indirect way, we have the legislature.
Yeah.
People have chosen their representatives.
Exactly.
And here we hear the finance bill. To some quarters, people are saying it's unpopular to them. It has brought in taxation. So where
excessive taxation.
So what happens? What happens when you put a representative and they go there and none of them seems to be pushing your agenda? What do you do?
The first thing that...
Don't forget, we are still on the same place of two-third gender rule.
Yes,
and all that.
yes. I want to start by telling you, Jonah, that the indirect representation that we have in this country is creating a problem for Kenyans, in the sense that you go through majorly political parties. And when you do political parties, a political party in this country actually belongs to an individual. Let's be clear. Let's be honest in this country, in this area. And we talked about political parties here. Yeah. The way political parties are registered is a process where somebody who has money will actually buy the process of registration of political party. Even if you put whatever, they will find their way to ensure that they've registered. And you've had the cases where people are complaining that their names have been fraudulently used to register parties. It's been a widespread situation, including even the Office of the Registrar of Political Party has to put some system to ensure that people can actually remove themselves from political parties willingly. And this is a situation where you find that those representatives feel that they've been given an opportunity by the political party, which basically represents someone.
Right.
So that now they are more aligned to the political party, which in this case is going to be to the party leader or the party leaders, whoever you please to take. And you find a situation where if somebody feels that it is somebody is targeting William Ruto, they are not talking about William Ruto, the president. They are talking about William Ruto, the person. And they feel that William Ruto ni wetu, na yeye ndiye amenipatia nafasi. Yet, these people are paid by the public. It is salaries that come from the public. These people are voted for by the public. They don't see that as a threat to them, because apparently the public cannot hold them to account in this situation, because you have Article 104 where we are supposed to be able to remove them. But then the operational legislation is so hard for you to implement that removal of MPs. If it was possible to remove them, Jonah, I would have told you today that they would line up themselves to ensure that they're following the people's direction, so to speak.
So,
but then they are not.
Directly?
Yeah.
How about directly?
Directly, in this construct of this constitution, we have Article 257, which is a referendum. And that means that as long as 1 million of us can come together, and this is what Free Kenya is trying to invoke, we come together and we push something and we put it and we go and refer and vote on it. The moment, Jonah, we get 1 million signatures and take it to IBC, the process begins.
Do you think it will make it past the IEBC? You will again be accusing IBC of doing Punguza Mzigo fiasco.
And Punguza Mzigo went through, Jonah, through IBC. Punguza Mzigo failed at the level of the county assemblies. It went through IBC, got the signatures were approved in IBC.
Right.
Even Bomas, BBI also went through IBC. So IBC is really not the problem. The problem goes to the level of, like now the question of BBI, it was actually the way they structured it. It was a president who was supposed to use Article 256, which is using the representatives, because he's a leader of a party, and that party has representation in parliament. So he should have used that route. Anybody who has office should use that route, 256. But people who don't have office, like myself, Free Kenya, and you, Jonah, you can use 257. That is where 257 now gives you the opportunity to do a referendum. And so we can actually address issues directly. I agree with you when you say that there is going to be, it's a milestone to go. It's basically a minefield to go there, because after you've gone through IBC, which is also a dynamite. You remember when you're talking about the problem, it was Okoa Kenya that did not go through IBC because somebody just created some problem there. But then, after Punguza Mzigo went through, it faced the MCAs. MCAs basically are supposed to be, under the construct of this constitution, they are supposed to support the your 1 million, say the request for a referendum, so that it goes to a referendum. So MCAs in this country basically refused to support Punguza Mzigo. This was because they still felt that they were more aligned to the political leaders as opposed to the people. Because even if you look at the arguments of Punguza Mzigo, some of those arguments were very progressive, but then they were not basically pursued.
I think we need to calm down a bit. We need to go for a break. You're following AFCON, maybe?
Yeah, I'm following AFCON.
Which is your team?
My team was thrashed
Things
yesterday.
are going down in Ivory Coast.
The team that I had hoped for was thrashed yesterday, unfortunately.
Tanzania?
Taifa Stars, they are our neighbors.
Beaten 3-0?
Really beaten seriously.
Was it 3-0 or 5-0?
3-0, but...
By who?
Morocco.
Morocco is the defending champion, I think.
And also did very well in the World Cup. So, you know, Morocco is...
By the way, are they the defending champions?
The defending champion, yes, Morocco is. Is it Morocco? I'll confirm this one.
It should be.
Morocco is doing very well. And unfortunately, Taifa Stars has to start with the worst kind of team that they can face in that tournament. But it's okay. Yeah. We hope that they can improve.
The sports CS, Ababu Namwamba, he should let you know why our team is not there. Or is it Nick Mwendwa who is to tell us why Kenya Harambee Stars is not there?
Both of them should tell us. Yes. It is very unfortunate that you know, Jonah, we are also hosting the 2027 AFCON, and we need to start preparing. I've always said that we need to organize ourselves to basically make sure that trophy, if it comes to this country, it's not leaving again.
Hold it there. Probably Ababu should tell us who interfered with Raila's meeting in this year.
Wow.
Viewers, see you after the break.